All right, boys, let's make this tier list starting with Book 1, Water.
C tier, Obama.
What?
The Great Divide alone puts this close to F tier. That episode, along with half the rest of the season, was the worst writing I have ever seen in a TV show.
Although I agree the Great Divide was bad, the second half of the season really picked things up and ended on an extremely strong note, unlike your presidency.
Low blow, Obama. But you're really telling me that the fortune teller and Bato of the Water Tribe are worthy of anything more than C tier?
Actually, there were far more good episodes than bad ones
Oh, look,
in this
Sleepy
season.
Joe finally woke up.
The Storm, The Deserter, and The Winter Solstice, just to name a few.
I have to agree with my ex-VP on this one. Those episodes slapped, and everything at the North Pole was top-notch. I think this deserves B tier.
Okay, but I'm not happy about it.
You're never happy.
Okay, boys, Book 2, Earth.
Easy A tier.
For once, Grandpa and I agree. Crossroads of Destiny and Zuko alone put this at borderline S tier, so I'm good with A tier.
No complaints for me, A tier it is. Now what about Book 3, Fire?
Anyone who says something below S tier should be deported. It is maybe the best season in any animated show, period.
I agree with Donnie, but I'm not a fan of Nightmares and Daydreams or Ember Island Players.
Come on, Joe. Nightmares and Daydreams demonstrated Aang's inner turmoil and dealing with his responsibility of fighting the Fire Lord. And not only was Ember Island Plays a good laugh before the finale, it let us dive deeper into each of the characters. But regardless, this is S tier. Okay, moving on to The Legend of Korra.
F
Book 1
tier.
Air. Donnie, did you drink hand sanitizer again? How is this F tier?
No, Barack, I'm more sober than ever. Korra acts like a little kid through the first half of the season, acting all high and mighty, and then wimps out when Amon almost ends her on Air Temple Island. And then when she unlocks airbending, Amon just runs away, even though he could easily keep fighting. And the worst thing is how Korra cries on the floor for 2 minutes, and now she has energy bending. Weak writing.
Although what you say is true, Donnie, the universe and atmosphere and Amon just being a badass villain puts this at A tier for me.
Bullshit.
You're being a little harsh, Donnie. I think we can compromise at B tier.
Fine.
Book 2, Spirits. Now, there shouldn't be any objections here. I think this is solid D tier, very slow pacing, and Avatar 1's backstory was the only good thing. This season sucked.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with a Democrat right now, but it's true. The only thing good about this season was Avatar 1.
Guys, this should be at least B tier.
Oh, Sleepy Joe again with the hot takes. Now, why do you think that?
The Nooktuk story and Mako's detective arc were both good stories. Even Tenzin and his siblings in the spirit world really built out their characters, and not to mention Iroh showing up. There was some development there you guys are forgetting.
Okay, he's got a point, Donald.
Of course, you Democrats agree with each other. This is a firm D tier for me.
Sorry, Joe, I think the cons outweigh the pros here. I'm keeping it at D. Okay, Book 3, Change. Now, if anyone disagrees, I'll drone strike them. This is easily S tier, arguably better than Fire.
Holy shit, for once you're right, Barack. Zahir is one of the best animated villains. Don't at me. And the rest of the Red Lotus members are badass. Gajan and Ming Hua make the season, and don't even mention Zuko showing up.
You're right, guys. Easy S tier.
Okay, last but not least, Book 4, Balance.
I like Kavira, but this season was too political for me, so I think C tier.
Too political? You're the president, you wingnut. Step down and I'll take your place. I'm going to win in 2024 anyway.
Your reasoning sucks, Joe, but the ranking is spot on. They cut the funding in this last season, so they had to make remembrances. And although that episode was funny, it took away from the main story, which needed some complete arcs. I wanted to see more of the airbenders in action, more of Bolan's lava bending, more of Varric's invention, and more of Korra in the Avatar state this season was just lacking.
I think what Kavira was doing was noble.
Of course you would.
But even I think this season needed more. I hate Nickelodeon for cutting the funding and giving all the money to Dan Foot Fetish Schneider. At least now they have Avatar Studios, so we're getting Avatar content that's not funded by those scumbags.
All right, I think C tier just because Toph showed up. Well, boys, this went pretty smoothly. Smoother than you guys in the presidential debate.
I'm due for a rewatch of these shows. Why don't you guys come to the White House and Jill will make us some dinner and we can binge all the seasons.
That sounds great, Joe. I'm there.
Just know that when I get there, I'm not leaving. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.